everybody! In this video, I'm going to talk about how to answer SAT reading and writing science passages. These can be a doozy, not only because they tend to take up the most time on the SAT, but because oftentimes students struggle feeling like they have to read them over and over again, and because just minute nuances can make it really hard to tell which of the 4 questions is actually right. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what I did step by step in order to solve these problems, and then I'm going to work through an SAT science passage using the tips that I share and show you how it's done. The first thing that I do when I'm trying to solve an SAT science passage is to read the prompt. Don't read the answers, just read the prompt. Then after that, number 2, I read the entire passage. The third thing I do is create an if-then relationship based on the prompt that I've already read. Sometimes the prompt is asking me to support a claim, support a hypothesis, or to contradict a claim, contradict a hypothesis. And you'll see what I mean by an if-then statement a little bit more when I solve the actual passage. But basically, you find a relationship between variables and you figure out how, when one variable is changed, it affects the other variables. And then the fourth thing that I do is read the answer choices and then pick which answer choice falls within the information that's given in the passage and supports or contradicts the relationship that I've created, depending on the prompt that I'm assigned. So let's go ahead and solve that SAT problem. It'll make a little bit more sense once you actually see me do it. So let's follow step 1. Reading the prompt. Which finding, if true, would directly support the researcher's hypothesis? So it's important to note this as directly support here, because sometimes it'll say contradict or disprove. So let's remember we're looking for something that supports the researcher's hypothesis. All right, step 2, read the passage. Researchers hypothesized that a decline in the population of dusky sharks near the mid-Atlantic coast of North America led to a decline in the population of eastern oysters in the region. Dusky sharks do not typically consume eastern oysters, but do consume cow-nosed rays, which are the main predators of the oysters. Okay, there's no graph here, so we don't have to read that. So let's create some if-then relationships. So researchers hypothesized that down in dusky sharks led to a decrease in oysters. But it says here that sharks do not typically consume the oysters, so it's not a direct relationship, but it says they do consume the cow-nosed rays. So if you have a decline in dusky sharks, that's gonna mean that you're probably gonna have more rays, right? So we're filling in the blank piece in this relationship here. There's an increase in rays. Well, if there's an increase in the predators, then there's going to be a decrease in prey, right? So that kind of describes that relationship. Okay, so that's our if-then. If dusky sharks decrease, then cow-nosed rays will increase, which means that the oysters will decrease. It says, which finding, if true, would most directly support the researcher's hypothesis? So the hypothesis is that ultimately decline in dusky sharks will lead to a decline in oysters, and under this relationship here, that's why that happens. So let's read the choices. Declines in the regional abundance of dusky sharks' prey other than cow-nosed rays are associated with regional declines in dusky shark abundance. Well, this passage talks about prey other than cow-nosed rays. That's brought up, it's not even in the passage here. So it's going outside of the passage. You're not allowed to do that on the SAT. It has to be strictly within the passage. That can't be right. B. Eastern oyster abundance tends to be greater in areas with both dusky sharks and cow-nose rays than in areas with only dusky sharks. Well, that doesn't make sense, because if there's only dusky sharks, then there's no cow-nose rays, which are the predators of oysters. You would think that would mean the opposite, because there would be greater number of oysters with no cow-nose rays, because then they're not being eaten by the rays. So that can't be it either. In fact, it more contradicts the claim than anything else. All right, let's read C. Consumption of eastern oysters by cow-nose rays in the region substantially increased before the regional decline in dusky shark abundance began. This doesn't really seem to confirm the hypothesis in any way. Consumption of eastern oysters increasing doesn't really affect the claim in any way. And the consumption of oysters shouldn't have anything to do with the decline in dusky sharks. It's the other way around. The decline in dusky sharks changes the relationship with oysters. In fact, this passage seems to turn the arrow the other way, like that. Okay, let's read D now. Cow-nose rays have increased in regional abundance as dusky sharks have decreased in regional abundance. So let's see here. Let's read our relationship again. Cow-nose rays have increased as dusky sharks have decreased in regional abundance. That exactly supports our relationship that we've created, our if-then statement, so D will be our answer. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please like and subscribe. It's how you let me know whether this video is actually helpful to you or not. Another benefit to engaging with my channel is helping it become a bigger part of the college application process in the fall, and a bigger part of my essays, that type of thing, and also helping me pay for college. So you can help me monetize my channel by subscribing. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please put those in the comments below, because this whole channel is for you, and I want to know what you need in order to be able to prepare for the SAT, for APs, anything like that. I would love to help. So again, thank you for watching this video, and good luck on the SAT.